My name is John Gorman from North Andover. I ran the Boston Marathon this year. This was my 30th Boston Marathon, 49th marathon overall. And it was a tough experience. The conditions were horrible. It was low 40s in temperature-wise. It was a headwind of about 20 to 30 miles an hour heading into Boston. And it was very cold. The hardest part is the training. The marathon itself is hard, but it's all those training miles you got, because you can't just, I'm a runner full-time, like not full-time, but I run year-round. And if it's July, I can't run a marathon because I'm not trained for it. So what you have to do, you have to get out there and between, let's say, the last 8 weeks leading up to the marathon, you need to do a long run on the weekend. You have to do anywhere from 15 to 20 miles and get your legs conditioned to be out there for however long, 3-4 hours. Because if you don't, good chance you're not going to finish. You're not going to make it, or you're going to end up walking. So the hardest part is getting there injury-free. And as far as the race itself, the hardest part is probably the last 10 miles. A lot of people, if they hit the wall, they call it the wall at 10 miles. They get, or even at 20 miles, they get there and their legs are done. And if you play you pace yourself right, you can get through that. If you go out too fast, which some people do, you're gonna cramping and walking and struggling. I've got family that loves to come and see me run. My wife and my kids usually see me at mile 16, which is right over. It's on Route 16 in Wellesley, right over 128, and they've been there for like the last 25 years watching me run. I see a lot of friends that I've known over the years. I see them all along the course, especially on Com Ave. It's really a special race to me because the whole town just comes out, and if you're going to run other marathons, they're not as many spectators, and it's not. I mean, Boston's it. Boston's the number one. Boston Marathon is number one in the world, and it's a very desirable race to run because of the prestige and the history. So, but the one thing emotionally for me. Everybody says I'm traumatized by it, but I don't know if I am. But I know I won't watch that movie about the Boston Marathon. It's hard to me to watch films and pictures. But the one thing that every year when there's a sign at was about a mile to go that says Boston Strong, and you're almost done. It's like less than a mile to go. And you see that sign, and I get tingles. I get goosebumps. Very emotional there. So so I think about the victims and how Boston came through afterwards. Yeah, I'm planning on running in 2019. I can get a number. It's not going to be any different next year. I'm just going to get out there and train as to get me healthy to the starting line. I say I do it for myself, but I really also, more importantly, do it for my family. I want my family, my sons, my wife, my brothers and sisters, nieces and nephews. I want them to be proud of me, and I think they are. And every day morning when I wake up and it's 4:30 and it's the middle of winter, and I say to myself, this marathon's not going to run itself. You got to get out there and train. So that's my motivation. If you don't have motivation, you're not gonna finish a Boston any marathon. You need a reason, and my reason is my family, my family, and a lot of my friends too. So I started the North Andover Middle School cross country program about 5 years ago. So I'm very proud of that, and I love to see young kids start running. I know I was inspired back when I was in grammar school, middle school. I used to sit there at my paper stop and see runners coming from the high school I'm going to running by, and I used to see them and say, that looks like something I could do, because I wasn't a football player, baseball player, and I would love to see young kids who didn't make the baseball team or couldn't hack it in football, who get out there and find within them a talent that they didn't even know about. You really don't know about it until you get out there and do it. And to see a young kid get out there and harness, mine his talent and become a success, or even if he's not a success, enjoy the sport. I love seeing that. And then, starting the cross country program, I'm very proud of that, to